Welcome to another edition of Down to the Wire. I have Rod Hennessy. We're outside his stable here. Rod's trained in Alberta and been around for longer than I have, which is a long time. You hit 2,000 wins, and as we talked before off the camera a little bit, that we know it's more than 2,000 wins there. 2,000 wins that were registered under your name. You've had stables racing all over, but congratulations on that.
Thank you. It's quite an honor to make the 2,000. There ain't a whole lot of them in the world.
No, for sure. And let's see if we can test your memory a little bit here. What was the very first win that you would have been down? What was number one?
We're thinking it was a horse my dad owned called Cash Council when I was 16 years old. That was about 800 years ago, I think.
What track?
Northlands.
Okay, and you're from Barrhead or up in that area?
I'm from Westlock, Busby. I was born in Westlock, raised in Busby. It's north of Edmonton, about 40 miles.
True blue Albertan at least. I know we used to laugh, and I talked to Rod Campbell, and back in the old days there was times that you stayed in the washrooms when you went down to fairs in the wintertime and different things. So congratulations on the 2,000 for sure. How many tracks would you guess that you've raced at in, say, North America?
Well, I think I've raced at 14, counting all the fairs here in Alberta. I've raced all over Saskatchewan to the tune of about 7 or 8. Ontario, I raced in every track that's been raced there in the new modern era since Redu Carleton. Then I raced some in Ohio. So you're probably looking at close to 35 tracks.
No kidding. That's awesome. What about your favorite horse? Can you pick one out that would be your favorite?
Well, there's actually, in the early era, was Just a Ripple A, and he was a great horse for me. In the late second era of racing was Weekend Bernie by a mile.
It's funny, I knew you were going to mention Just a Ripple A, and as I was getting into the business as well, he was always my favorite horse, and I can tell you that I stayed over after my wedding and watched Just a Ripple A in a stake race, and I'll tell you that's going to be 37 years ago, in case you're wondering. So
yeah, Rod Campbell said I'll never beat him again.
Right, so that was an awesome story for me as well. What would you consider your biggest win over the years?
Driving wise, I'm not sure. Probably beating Counterfeit Crown with Tyler's Royalty in Northlands. Training wise was when we finished 1, 2, 3 in the Western Canada Pacing Derby.
Yeah, those were. I always have considered you a colt person. You've made a living picking out young horses, developing them, racing them, selling them, whatever. But you were a king of the Alberta Sire Stakes when it first started, back to the Savage Racing stable days. And I guess that would be your forte, is the young horses? Yeah,
I started out with, out at the farm after my father passed away. I got to train a real good horse that taught me a lot, a horse called Dockery Bar, for a guy in Barrhead. And beat by Adios Pick, and then the next one I had was a good one by Adios Pick. That horse as a sire taught a lot of us of my generation how to become horse trainers. For sure. And BB Savage, and I'm assuming Roaring Snorton and Savage Racing Stables, that all brings back a lot of good memories. Oh, great memories. And I run into Murray and Michelle still from Savage Racing Stable out at Bragg Creek every once in a while, so it's great to see them once in a while. And you tried dipping into the Australian or New Zealand market 1 or 2 times? You went over there? Yeah, we went and got Just Ripple A and a few other minor players. He was by far the best that showed up, but he was a great horse. This might be a little bit of a sour note, but I have to ask you, what's the one race that you missed on winning that you always wanted to? Well, Freddie Gillis can explain it a lot better. It was in that Christie. We were going to win 1, 2, but we got knocked down, the pair of us. That was always a big race for Rod, and having dealt with it for 25 years, it was always a tense week. If we've ever had any arguments, it was during that week. Rod actually shipped horses back from Ontario one year, which was great too. So I know that's the one that got away, but there's lots of other ones that you got. Oh yeah, it's one that got away, but that's life. Lots of guys didn't win a Stanley Cup either, so let's not worry about it. Exactly. Well, thank you, Rod. Continue on with, I'm going to say you're closer to 3,000 than 2,000, but I think probably that's true if you added all the people that worked for me when we had to put trainers down when I went somewhere else. So whichever, it's just a number, but it's a very nice number to have. Now, if I can find some of the money that I win with them, it would be a lot better. Great. Thanks a lot, Rod. Build some more money and you'll figure out how to spend it as well. Thanks for joining us this week, and we will see you next week on this program.